Boy brings a suitcase full of the fabric. They open one or two. Girl sees it's just fabric. They've been folded nicely. Girl is taking the kente fabric. Gets to Kotoka. They open the suitcase. Cocaine.
Oh.
She's there.
Nah, yeah, dang.
Yeah, she's there.
Just ruin someone's life.
Yeah, she's there.
And she's also in the prison.
She's there. They haven't even finished trying her case. I think it's on remand. She's there.
Oh.
Another one who was victim of domestic violence for years. She was just boyfriend, girlfriend though. Boy was beating her. She's got scars on her body to show. She reported to almost every place she could report to. Nobody will. Guy gets small money, so he go pay bribe, then they leave him. One evening, she was in the kitchen boiling water to go bath when a slap from the back, pine. Instinctively, she was tired. She just carried the boiling water, poured it on the guy, and then she ran off to like 2 or 3 villages away. Guy goes to hospital. They treat the burns and everything. He's okay. He's reported to police. They find the girl. He tells police, no, don't touch her. This girl has found a new lover. They've gotten engaged. She's given birth. The morning, it's been like 4 years after, or 4 or 5 years after, the morning on which she's naming, they are doing the naming for her child. Old boyfriend arrives with police. They catch her or them. She's not seen the child for 7 years.
Just like that?
Just like that or them.
Hey!
When you go behind those walls, some of those stories will leave you spellbound.
Okay. Of all these stories, how have you pieced them?
That's what you need to come and see. That is what you need to come and see. And then the biggest part, the biggest question, who actually deserves presidential amnesty? Andy,
George,
have you asked yourself?
I want us to listen. I'm trying to get into the mind's eye of the writer or the director of this play, right?
The writer is here. The director is getting ready for rehearsals.
Right. But I'm thinking right now.
Yeah.
With my eyes closed, I'm trying
to piece the stories together.
Yes. How does it migrate or move from a lady who had just given birth and she's arrested? Okay, let's forget all the trauma or all the hardship she had been through, and then from the streets to the cocaine story. How does it transition? How is it pieced?
That is why you need to be at the National Theatre.
If
I tell you here, there's no point coming to see.
Oh, there is a point.
Yeah, that's why you need.
There's a point.
That's the reason you need to be at the National Theatre to see, because I won't lie to you, it's not been easy weaving these intricate tales together. It's been a fine tapestry of theatre that we've put together, and Nashoko has done a beautiful work bringing it to life. You know, sometimes when you're writing, you have a different picture in your head, but when a director takes it and brings her expertise or a different touch to it, and I think because she's also a woman, you know, naturally women tend to be very empathetic. Because she is a woman and all that, and she was there firsthand, met these prisoners, and Nashoko has become like a family friend. She goes there, she takes pizza to them, she will take ice cream to them and all that, you know. And I mean, so she is very emotionally involved, deeply involved in this one, and all her emotions show on the play, you know. And I told her if I were directing, it would probably be different. It wouldn't be as emotional as this one will be. And she's done a pretty great job. I cannot tell you how the story flows. I can only say come see it. And as I always say, if you're not blown away, demand a refund.
Okay, in this case, is it a tragedy? Is it a tragic comedy? Is it, what is it? Because just as
it's a potpourri of emotions. Okay. We've tried to blend, like I said, because some of the stories are very heavy, we brought in some humor. So we are telling different tales about what got them in there, how life is in there, what they intend to do afterwards, and those who don't even want to go. And we touch on a number of themes as well. You know, there's even a conversation around HIV and AIDS. There's a conversation around LGBTQI, you know, and all of those things.
Does it happen in there?
Come and see it on Saturday, you know, and then you
understand. Your stories, pair what you witnessed. Was there anything like that could have led anyone?
It's hard for me to say, but just come see it on Saturday, and then you'll understand. For us, one of the key things about this production is that when we engaged them last year, we also realized they were trying on their own to put up a guidance and therapeutic center for prisoners, so that when you come in there, before you start serving your sentence, you're taken through there to prepare you for the life you are now about to live. And then when you're about to live, you go through some level of orientation before you're reintegrated into society. And because they are putting it up on their own, we decided to commit some funds to that project as well. So part of proceeds from this production will also go towards the building of that Guidelines and Therapeutic Center at the Nsawam Female Correctional
How much are we
Center.
paying to get in?
Only 200 cedis for all the work. And, in the build-up, before we did the December show, we're traveling to Nsawam prison almost every day. Because they are not actresses, so it needed a lot more work to get them to deliver at that level. And beyond then, even putting this one together, we've been rehearsing since January. And we rehearse at the University of Ghana 3 to 4 times a week. Saturday morning rehearsals at 6 a.m. So you can imagine, it's not been easy at all. But the team have put in a lot of work. And
I'm
we've
thinking
had
about
a lot of
something.
support.
Is there a way to get the prisoners to be on stage?
We tried. Somebody asked us one question.
Oh, and heavy security.
Just
as sometimes they take them to what happens? They take them to these communal
those ones that
labor.
you see at the communal labor things are people that have just like 2-3 weeks to leave, and if you run away, you study your sentence all over again. Would you? Those are the ones. They have like 2-3 weeks to be released, or a month to be released. You've served like 15 years. You have a month to leave. You've been taken to do community service, and you escape, knowing very well that if you're caught, you start the 15 years again. Would you run away? So that is why you see those ones walking about so easily.
And okay, now I've come there to watch.
Yeah.
I've paid my 200 CDs.
Yeah.
I've come to watch.
You've taken a good seat.
At the end of the day,
Yes.
what do I take home?
A lot. You take home a number of messages. The first, and for us the most important, is the concept of stigma and how we treat people that we think have been imprisoned. We call them ex-convicts. We don't want to associate with them. We begin to think they are no longer human. But Andy, all of us in this room, including this entire building, we are not far away from prison. It may not even be your fault. We are not far. There are a lot of innocent people in there, just as there are guilty people, So,
for example, this December in GH story.
yes.
She knew nothing about it.
Yeah, she knew nothing about it. But how do you, the number she claimed, Yafreo and the number has been, it's gone. It doesn't work. You understand? So it's very unfortunate. These guys, they are cartels, they are groups. Whoever is going to receive it at the other end, he probably has a different number of the boy. So once the girl leaves him, that phone has to go. The number is dead. So if the one who's supposed to receive it receives it, that person knows how to contact the one from Ghana and say, Charlie, she has delivered, and then they will reestablish the relationship. Now what done courier without knowing? Normally they small now they cover so yeah. It's just unfortunate. So yes, Andy, people need to come see this one. It's
Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday, 4 p.m. and 8 p.m.
Oh, 2 shows.
Yes,
That's
2
good.
shows, 4 p.m. and 8
Both
p.m.
days?
Yes, both days at the National Theatre. Monday is a holiday, so come, let's have some fun and let's have conversations around this. It's important we speak about these things. Let me thank you guys here at Hitz FM and the entire multimedia group. We are partners on this one. Together with
behind the walls.
Yes, the UN family in Ghana have been supportive. Big shouts to Stanbic Bank. Stanbic Bank has been with us from the very beginning of this theatre journey. And Neplant's Car Rentals, Aquaba Mineral Water, Yumi Yogurt, Food 101, and everybody who supported, the Twilliam guys. Everybody's been very, very, very supportive. And all our other media partners. We're very, very grateful. This one, you have to be there to see it. And I'll say again, if you're not blown away, demand a refund.
Listeners, let's all go to the National Theatre this Saturday and Sunday. 200 Ghana cedis, 4 and 8 p.m. Are we only getting tickets at the gate? Or is there any
we're doing digital. You can visit our website, www.imagebureaugh.com, or you can use our USSD code. That's *714*46# hash. This is a dedicated shortcode for Image Bureau and April Communication. So you can just store it, and then anytime you hear us advertising a product, you can use that. It's star 714 star 46 hash. The V tickets guys will sort you out.
Nice.
You should be there.
Oh,
in fact, you should be there to even open the show as a prison warden. Sorry, it's all female.
The more money role in play.
We have another play coming up. Also, I say you be Willie Showing play Death and the King's Man. You can play a lesser god.
Now we okay there.
Me born a powder kakara.
Shata Wally. Lesser god. Yeah, our principality.
Darkness.
Darkness and principality. Kolebu powder. That's it right now. Kolebu powder. The price has increased.
But listen, I keep saying that if we do not find any of these are marketing schools or business schools, they need to do a study on Shatawale. The boy, he knows how to stay relevant. And everybody, you may not like the methods, you may not like the ways, the styles, but he knows how to stay relevant. He knows. See how the man has managed to look. What was trending in the last until he stepped up? He has almost killed the trend. He has almost killed the trend.
Say you will come here
and it's masterpiece. You know, I mean, kudos to Shatawale, Charlie. He's a different kind of artist, and he knows how to do it. And Charlie, Mama, let's not look at the negatives. Look at the positives. There may be something in there that can be good to pick to sell products, because Charlie Udimia.
Play there for come on. The principalities.
Andy Dusty will play a lesser god.
We are Saturday and Sunday, you won't see me.
I see somebody cast for that role already. Shatawale. DJ Slim has cast for.
Listeners, let me ask you this. Are you a patriotic citizen? Then be ready to test your knowledge on our nation's songs and win big from Safari. Ashes was there. Kwabna was there. Edem was there. Which other musician? D Black.
George Niamakwe.
Was he there?
Okay, he's the younger brother of senior brother.
Yeah.
Chairman.
No.
Andy. October 7, Medi 45. See much. Manya party be 40th in Timumu.
About 45 you for do party.
Mindrew $1 million.
You see me, my worry is this.
And it does.
No, my worry is
I haven't even made my first $10,000.
Let's say you know get $1 million.
Make you no mind now. See, no, you know my worry.
You know why I say?
And you continue the show.
No. You know my worry. Of all the decor they did at the Black Star Square, the program was on Saturday. So next day, Sunday, there nobody they marry. Where they go use the place for refreshment.
Charlie, the number of receptions you go do for like
Charlie,
for like a month.
Charlie,
then go make money. Only
Chalinka, we are baby omututu different. No achom say yo. Munya A and Q on the side of my area. How they any photos and videos for shady reasons.
We are not quite now.
Go check. I want to do new.
Yeah.
Do you know the
took
number of
about
days
2
they
weeks or
used
so.
to build that? Mr. George Quay.
Sorry.
Family or no family.
No.
But Andy,
Kwe is a very common Ghanaian.
Robert for doing well for stadium.
Niama Kwe.
Nyama is a second-born male, male, depending on which family you come from. There's Nyuka and then there's Nyama, followed by Nyai. Just as in the girl side, there's Nadiri, then there's Nakokwe, and then it follows. In other places, it can be Adole and Adoko.
So are you a
know,
second-born?
or Adote. Okay, yeah, mine, there was a flip. My brother ahead of me, who should have been Ama, was named after my uncle, Uncle
Okay.
Aite. So he became Aite. Then I took the Ama.
So you are Niama.
Yeah, Nyama. George Nyama Kwe.
Then you have $1 million.
I will get $1 million. So I
Amen.
don't have it yet. You be Drew, be Drew, kakra,
We
yes,
will get there. Listeners, stay with us. When we come back, yesterday, I said I would drag Robert Clark here. By the way, today is Robert Clark's birthday. Yo!
What a party day. Ghana Arena. Ghana Arena. Ghana Arena.
Accra Sports Stadium.
No. We're going back to the Blaster Square.
Oh, Charlie.
I didn't know what to do. Yeah, some of us.
Yeah.
At least I did not finish to
Yeah, the 1 hour message.
Mommy and Freko just so
Then Andy, we have to invite Putin. Trump.
Are they?
We are inviting them.
For
No,
the
so the guest list.
Also the guest list.
I'm on the emotion in Kakava.
No. If Robert Clark is having a party, it's got to be global dance icons.
Sir.
I'm Fred Chris Brown.
You know,
Michael
I just
Jackson,
saw her and the
Yeah,
rest.
for the
you know.
if we see Obinim, he can revive Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
No, I'm back.
I don't know principalities.
That's for the party.
Munyani Ufo.
This time.
Oh, Andy, that reminds me.
What?
There's one of the girls in the prison. Yeah. She got there for stealing church money. Yeah, church money. And her story is quite interesting. She figured she chanced upon a conversation after church one day. And the conversation showed that the church was just a front. The church was actually washing money, dealing in all sorts of things. And when she discovered it, she was given 2 options. Take some money and keep quiet.
Or
Do attend her funeral. So she took the money. And before she had to take the money, of course, your life can't just change overnight.
right.
So one Sunday service, Pastor just threw her hand in her direction and said, I have seen God changing your life. You're about to come into a lot of money. You're about to come into that. They prophesied, total prophecy. And then, of course, they started paying her to buy her silence.
Okay.
Her lifestyle changed. When the money wasn't enough
Pro-
anymore, she
prophecy-
realized,
pro- prophecy was manifesting.
manifesting. When she realized that, Charlie, the lifestyle necessary, baby, you drew no. She started
started
stealing the
blackmailing
church
them.
offertory because she was an usher.
Oh,
Because the church doesn't need the offertory anymore.
right. Because they're
Because
getting
also,
something
what made her
bigger.
realize she was going to see the pastor to complain, because onona oje but omoya collection and they count the money. Maybe they've counted what 5,000
Thousands,
cities.
okay.
Then pastor will come and declare 500,000 cities. Oh, she didn't understand. So she was going that, is there a mathematical problem or something? And then she overheard, eavesdropped on that conversation. So that shows that, yeah. So as far as the congregation is concerned, oh yeah. That's her story is there.
Ghana story or your story?
No,
Ghana.
be real.
Ghana story.
Oh, I see the story.
It's
No,
Ghana
no.
story.
He's been telling some Hudia stories this morning.
You need to come and see the play. Yeah, this play is a collection of some true stories.
Charlie!
Of course, you'd have a few fictions here and there to make it exciting. You'd add a few make believes to authenticate.
So at the end of the day, did she blow the trumpet or what?
Come and watch the play.
Also, cry me that's all. Listeners, we'll be right back.
Followed with season
think there was some argument going on, if you recall. It's good to have George Quay and Robert here. What was that?
My heading.
But you've worked with the VGMA before.
T.
No,
T.
you worked with VGMA. You didn't work with TGMA.
Okay, let's just say GMA.
Okay, you worked with GMA. Then you worked with VGMA. Now you didn't work with TGMA.
George Quay is vaginas.
Vaginas.
Is teginas.
Yeah. In fact, George Quay worked with Jimus. And then he became Vagina. Vaginas.
George Quay worked with Jimus,
And
sponsored
Vaginas.
by MTN.
Okay.
Then
Vaginas, sponsored by Vodafone.
Yes.
And now Robert worked with...
Tasted Jimus before, then Honorable Mr. Clare
Okay.
of Birthday Fame took
Right.
over.
Right.
You tasted it.
Yeah. Charlie, quickly, time no day. Yesterday we were having a discussion and I mentioned that today we need clarity on certain things. I want to say my friend. He will come do video and say they don't.
Why they don't call?
Why they for call? About the TGMAs. A lot of musicians keep complaining, we don't know anything about it, we don't know this, we don't know that, we don't know this, It's been there for years. This is what the 26th edition. Well, let's say they are Gen Zs or right? And they may not have heard of the 10 or 15 years in film. So let's say 10. Still, people are saying they don't know how, we don't know how it works. And at the end of the day, even on radio, people sit on radio and then they misinform the public. And yesterday we were discussing, I said, there is the spokesperson's office. They apart from even the PR, go on the internet, there are definitions, this, that. Could it be that your explanations are not loud enough? What are you lacking? I won't come to you now because, okay, let me start with you. because I don't get it.
Andy, hold on.
What had been your challenge?
Have you filled a form for the United States of America to travel there before?
I think so. Okay, what if someone does it for me?
Okay.
Thank you.
So,
I applaud you.
so
I know me so.
did the United States of America come on radio to educate you on how to fill your form, or did they do anything? It's on their website, or when you want the visa process, it's all there. You can get it online, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to travel to the States, you are able to sit your backside down and do that work.
Mm-hmm.
You want to travel to the UK, you can do same. If you want to submit your works for the Grammys, do you go to anybody to teach you what to do?
Well, some way, somehow, I'm very sure someone may
Good.
may
But at
guide
least
you.
you have to show that interest.
Right.
If I were a musician, I'll feel very ashamed to sit on radio to say, and I don't know how to submit forms for VGMAs or TGMAs, or I don't know how to do that. Robert should come to your house to show you how to do it. It's there on the website. The scheme has been here, like you rightly said, for 25 solid years. If you have any interest, you do it. Kwabna is not the one who would wake up. That's why he has a certain ashes. Empress Gift You and all those others, that's why they have a certain, this gentleman right here to my right. If you cannot do it yourself, get somebody to do it for you. But to go sit on radio or sit on social media to say, and I don't know, you must be ashamed of yourself. Are you kidding me? Today, 2025, modern day, with so much tech around, I'm sure if I Google somewhere how to submit my forms to at West, drive to Charterhouse. It's not in the south of France.
Come from Pao.
At West, drive.
Robert, you don't go like that.
There are many people.
If you talk, you know they understand.
There are many people around.
Yeah.
There are many people around who can help you. You come to Andy Dusty, he'll help you. You go to VGMA Aristotle and order some Wabedu. He'll help you. You know, he'll help you. So how are you able to still? It only tells me clearly that you're not interested. So if you're not interested, why are you making noise? Because anybody who's interested Look, there is a song. That two of them are even behind bars. Diddy and R. Kelly. They have a song called "Satisfy You."
Right.
You know, there is a line in one of the raps. I don't remember whose rap it was. It says, "Cause any woman who's willing to drive, I can't impress you with the house and the cars. Cause any woman who's willing to drive can get it
that was
herself."
Diddy.
Good. Listen, also, I can't impress you with the houses and the cars. Cause any woman who's willing to drive can get it herself. If you're willing to be a part of the scheme, you cannot put in the work to know what is required. Don't even call yourself a musician.
But what about the pundits or the ones that are supposed to inform and educate that keep throwing dust in the eyes of their consumers? Robert, you pair what you do. I'm not sure you've heard people talk. Over the weekend, I was a bit angry. I mean, yeah, because sometimes you listen to, especially the ones on YouTube, and I was appalled by some of the comments they make, especially about the categories and then better still, we allow all these ultra crepidarians to come on radio and they talk and talk and talk like.
Lawyer. Yusu. Ichiao. Back on the see everything.
Minim. Hey, Charlie. Rob.
Yeah. So in some of my engagements, what I discover is that some pundits ask questions in order to, with the focus of trying to let me know that we are wrong. They are not interested in asking questions for answers. Some of them to complain their questions rather than trying to understand how the scheme operates. And those who ask questions with the interest in trying to understand, they get that information. So some are quick to respond. They just they ask questions, and then as soon as I give a response, I just say what is on their mind. So basically, you are not learning. Instead of you learning, you are just projecting what you don't know, thinking that it is the actual information. But in all of these things, it just tells me that yes, there's a need for some education to go around. So for me, all the experiences I have constitute feedback, which basically informs what we should be focusing on going forward. I looked around. I also checked on, try to see how it's done elsewhere. And I've noticed that even, I didn't want to say, but let me just say, even the Grammys, they've had these challenges. And they've also taken key steps to be able to address issues of that nature. One would think on their platform with all of that info and everything, people shouldn't have issues with the scheme, yet they still do have. So I think it's a general problem, and what we need to do is to consistently train or educate people. Like I said on one of the platforms, every year we have new artists coming into the space, new producers coming into the space, new songwriters, new managers, whatever. All of these folks are coming into the space and they are going to interact. So for as long as these new folks come into the space, they need a certain amount of education to go. So the education really never stops. And so it is really our responsibility to find ways and means to mitigate the level of ignorance within the space and empower people more to be able to appreciate how the scheme works. So it's a task that and a responsibility that is supposed to be on the shoulders of the scheme, and that I think we cannot run away from it. So yes, we'll embrace that and see what we can do about it. I mean, we just have to keep reinforcing, and that's the reason why sometimes on a Saturday I can do over 20 phone calls to different stations and visit like 5, ask, and respond over and over again. Like Saturday and Sunday, man, like over 20, that's it, and it's consistent, and I can't say I'm tired because really that's what we are supposed to do. So I'm happy when we do that. I remember I was in the north, was it last year, and we had an interview session that started at 9 or 10. We finished around 1 something. Because I needed to explain a lot of things to them. And so, these things are normal, but it is our responsibility to find a way to make sure that the ignorance does not worry the scheme. Rather, we find a way to cure it. So, yes, the feedback is welcome.
Listeners, stay with us here on its 103.9 FM. Pastor Chris Oyakhilome is speaking. He says the church has not been very helpful.
What?
Okay, to musicians.
Andy,
No?
I would have
Is
to
that what
beg
you're
leave
saying?
to my next interview.
Where are you going to?
The next interview,
No, we need you.
just behind you. Or let me finish with them. They have 20 minutes to finish their show.
He's going beyond.
Yeah.
I'm going beyond this wall.
No, George. So there are questions for you.
Hey, Ayeka. Okay. Trouble. Almost say
They say you have to come to Kumasi.
with a play.
Yeah.
Oh, but we've been there.
Well,
We took a run for your wife to Kumasi. We're at the Ivan Samfom Auditorium at KNUST. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Okay.
Kumasi came out. I mean, we'll go again soon.
Right.
We had to take
The
that
challenge
one
is that
because
those who
it was
didn't
a
attend, they
small
didn't have wives, so it wasn't like.
Tabeg, I have a question for George before you go. Do you by any chance have an idea who did the set design for the GQ?
No, I have no idea. I was not involved. But I've seen some gratitude message. I think Richie was involved. I think Kujo was involved. And
Baba
Fache,
executive
Baba,
director,
and
she's
all
also
those.
there.
So so there. But they did a great job. The setup was lovely.
It was lovely. That's what I'm asking.
They did a great job. Yeah. No. I wasn't.
Pastor Chris says no one has cheated the church more than the music industry.
The way yeah, no, you
That's why you have
stay.
to sit down.
Oh, but you too. Oh, why?
Drop your first comment and then you go.
So your place in line, yeah.
Please don't go here.
You know, the sad part is that we had to the first draft of the script, when we sat down and did a read through, we had to dub it down for the church part. Because look, when you visit those people and you have an interaction with the things people can say about the church, the way the church has misled a lot of people,
Right.
you'll be shocked. They shouldn't say that. We'll get emotional. But God willing, I'll come again tomorrow.
He said no one has cheated the church more than the music industry. Where are you going?
5 minutes.
Is he
drop
wrong?
the preamble and then-
Let's listen to him. Listen.
In probably the last maybe 40 years or probably a little more, maybe 50, no one has cheated the church like from the music, I don't know whether to call it industry. I'm telling you, no one has cheated the church like those people. What most of them have ever done is to use the church. And if you look at history long before 50 years that I just mentioned, long before then, you'll see many worldly singers that started in the church. They were in the choir, they were leading praise, they ended up in the words. All they ever did was to use the church. They used the church, used the church to make themselves popular. Either they start a church with that opportunity, or find a way to use that opportunity to make money. Always they're looking for how to use that. Satan enters into their minds to give them ideas how to leverage on the opportunity given to them in the house of God for financial reasons. I've told you, don't give them any chance anymore. Otherwise, they'll go to hell. I'm trying to save them. Many of them who wouldn't go to church, they don't know the message. They are exposed to a poetic ability. Most of the things they write, sinners can write them. They just be nice.
George Kwe, you started in the church.
Every talent to start with is of God. I did not start in the church, though. I started from school. I was discovered in Association International. My first ever acting opportunity was to play our former President Rawlings. So I didn't start from the church, but every talent is of God and from God. If you speak to a lot of musicians, they would also tell you how they think the church has used them. People know how churches generate revenue. Andy, we all sit here. You play adverts every day. You hear of whatever being Kwabna organizing a show here. Let's even put the non-gospel musicians aside. Have you ever seen a Celestine Donko gospel show being sponsored by any church before? Name one. You would hear gospel people doing gospel concerts, and they are being sponsored by condom companies. They are being sponsored by alcoholic beverage companies. They are being sponsored by, we had a Tabia Tahila experience was there, and all those things. Where are the churches? At which point do they also step up to support their own? At which point, giving me the church space to organize, and sometimes they don't even get the church spaces to organize
Even
some
for
of these
free.
shows. It's not for free. They pay. So what is our dear pastor talking about? Talent is of God. So if I start giving my talent to the church, I'm a guitarist, I start playing guitar in the church, and I'm growing, and I have families to feed, and the church is not paying me for the guitar that I'm playing, and Ashes approaches me that Charlie Kwabna, they go play some gig for Amsterdam. I need a guitarist. Can you play for him? I should sit down and not go. I get where he may be coming from, because sometimes when they call them to come and perform for the church, they also charge. That is because the church has taken advantage of them for too long. Gospel musicians will go to perform in churches. Speak to them. They'll tell you if they would have the balls to be able to speak the truth.
Balls don't move.
They would go and perform. Some of them will travel to go and perform in churches, and then you'd give them what? The person has left Accra, traveled all the way to Tamale or whatever, maybe even went by air. We are 500 Ghana cedis, say, Jiweo, Fasha, or how far? I mean, what are you? Or even 100. Somebody, a gospel musician, was sharing an experience the other day where he went to perform somewhere around Mankasim. Said they were doing some. So what are you telling me? That they should continue to starve and die? Should they end up becoming thieves? Should they end up becoming robbers? The church is one of the richest institutions in the world. Some churches, let me put it that way. Not every church is making that much. Some of the churches are huge. Why don't you put some of these instrumentalists, if you don't want them to leave the church, put them on a salary structure, put them on a monthly pay structure, pay their SNIT, pay other bills that they are supposed to pay. You understand? Give them good welfare, as the musician would, the non-gospel musicians would for some of the people they work with. Before you come up and say that they have robbed the church and they've been, it's a very unfortunate comment. I don't know what his experience is. I don't know what made him go that tangent, but I think it is a very, very unfortunate comment, because look, we've interacted with musicians, and if they should also come up to speak about what churches have done to them, how some of them give their all to the churches, and at the point where they are even being thrown out of their homes. Pastor needs a new car, so the church cannot support him. What are we talking about?
Asis, let me hear your comment on this.
My comment?
I think tomorrow we should invite some musicians. Some can really.
Please, I will suggest one gift to yourself.
Embrace Gibson. Embrace Gibson.
Yes.
Who is
Call
very
them and
busy
have conversations with them.
Yeah. We for extend down. Yeah, go ahead.
And there were those who started in the church where choir masters and even deacons and stuff wanted to do things with them, so they had to rush out. They had to run out of the church.
Those were stories, but behind the wall, how come?
You may be free more. Because if we should put everything in that play, trouble will come.
Behind the wall. Asis, please go ahead.
I have a personal experience with this, yeah. So there was a day I went to one church with Wafaya Sapon.
Right.
So after the legend finished performing, blah, 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 he was sitting there, and then I saw him right after the pastor finished preaching and everything. I saw him move out. I didn't understand what this man wanted to do or where he was going. So he called me. He said, "Also for no, if you are sorry, Hana." And I said, "Na papa was here, magic musical." So it was after that he was revealing things that happened, like some of these things that happen to some of these gospel musicians, because I have worked with him for a little while, and I know how the church see them as they come to bless the church. They don't see them as actively working, because there are no pre-contracts signed between the church and the musicians. You know, it's difficult for a gospel musician to want to sign a contract with a certain church before they go and perform, unlike MOUs are signed in the secular world. You know, they all buy a better show. So that's what they all buy a better show means. Anything the church has to give you is what you have to take, and it's painful because probably the church wouldn't have considered transportation, the crew you came with, maybe miscellaneous here and there. They don't put all those in factor. They are just blessing you with anything they feel is within them to give you. It boils a lot of expectations in the musicians as well, because this is what, like George said, this is what they also do for a living. So when they are moving, they're also expecting. So if they do this 3-4 and then it's not forthcoming, the fifth one they will change. They would find a different tactics to play with you. With what the pastor is saying, well, I am not there to probably understand exactly his experience or what he has gone through with some of these musicians for him, because I know he's been from past, he's been an advocate of gospel musicians. A lot of them have gone through his church, risen very high in societal music scenes. So for him to make a detour and then say that, if you invest there, you'll be going to hell, that's a very bold statement for a pastor to say? What will make him say that? Because yesterday he invested there. So is he also going to hell? Or why the U-turn? What has happened?
At a point they were investing. What's the lady's name?
Sinach. Yeah. So you see,
all those guys.
this is it. Whatever he was doing, I'm sure as a man of God, he did it from voluntary will or let me help. There are two different. The music thing runs on a business line. So if you don't have a contract with whoever it is, and you probably would not want her or him to go and worship at another church, that is your problem because you didn't imprint it in a contract for them to sign. So probably as some of them started ministering or worshiping or fellowshipping or whatever you might call it in other churches, he got pained and he felt betrayed. That why would I raise A for A to now go and sing at B? I am looking at it from that point more. It's not the business aspect for him. I mean, what money doesn't somebody like Pastor Chris Church come up? They are quite lucrative, in terms of wealth. So it could only be betrayal by these artists to him. But then again, his words as a man of God are very ungodly. He shouldn't use.
Hey, and I know.
Yeah, very ungodly.
Okay, Adam.
For you to say somebody will go to hell there, if they invest there, they say ungodly.
You should not be preaching where you because I was in a jam, but it's straight.
Randy, issues like you say, issues day. You've been saying issues day most of the times, and I think this is the bedrock of the whole issue. Somewhere in February, Pastor Chris made a shocking revelation about why he made some gospel artists in his church go. And I mean, from the issues he raised, I think it is why he made that statement that when you invest in them, like you go to hell or God will punish you or something. Like he feels that they are taking the church on the wrong direction.
Okay.
And I mean, this is the point he made. He said that everything changed. The music in the church became worldly. Instead of worshiping God, they danced and celebrated themselves. How many of those singers were soul winners? They were not soul winners. They would lead praise in the church, but when it is time for prayer, they would leave to perform in another church. They were professionals making money from church, charging for their singing while pretending to minister to God. And from this point, you could clearly see that from how he started with them as people singing in church, at a point, there was a transition where now they grew in the craft and became so big. And it's like the way they used to be with him in the church had changed because of the changing status as artists, because they had become stars. They were on high demand among others. So the way you would want to use them like before wouldn't be the situation. And they will try and give you certain excuses. They will try and change in the way they do with it. And I think that is where he didn't side with them. And clearly you could see that it created some rift, because when he was talking about this, he said that many pastors didn't realize that this was how the world was creeping into the church. Instead of stopping it, they helped celebrate them. At first, I also celebrated them. That's where it comes. But when I changed, they refused to change with me. I had to let them go because God was getting my attention, telling me this wasn't the right path. I returned and told them if anyone had celebrated them, I did. But now the Lord asked us to do the right thing.
All right. Adam, please hold on for me. Tomorrow, I'll need more of your input. Martinez, please end it all. Hey, sorry. Before Robert comes in. Yes, sorry.
And clearly, Pastor Chris is in pain. And we all know Christ Embassy is one of the churches that dedicated, massive support to artists I mean, like Sinache, Ben, and co. And so, coming back to say this, you can understand if you really follow them how they projected. I mean, if when it comes to their numbers worldwide, I mean, Christ Embassy, he feel they've got the platform, and now it's like he has lost control over them. But I think the church actually doesn't understand how the music industry operates, and I think they are also not ready to understand because they feel they are.
But for a church like Christ Embassy, that has a church like that has projected an artist like Sinners to, a near global stage. Do you think they don't understand how the music industry works? They know.
From even what Adam read, I mean the breakdown of the story, I think they don't understand that at a point the artist become, when he grow in the game, there are certain things or there are limitations to what the church can expect from the artist because he has become a global brand. And maybe at a time you may need him or her at a service or at an event. Maybe he or she has been built to perform elsewhere, maybe across the world. And so if the brand becomes so huge and it becomes very difficult for the church to contain him or her, I mean, sometimes there's a problem. And I think because they feel, we gave it a platform for you to lead worship, to lead praises before you became who you are, we have that control over you. Meanwhile, it gets to that point where the artists need a certain kind of space. For me, when you listen to the gospel musicians and the complaints they have whenever they get to perform at the churches and all of that, I think they really don't want to understand how the music space operates. And from what Pastor Chris is saying, I think going forward is going to affect the up-and-coming talent in the church. Maybe those who are aspiring to become big artists. If he's not going to invest in them because when he does that, he's going to go to hell, then some talent are going to be crushed. And so this is a topic that I think need to be treated very well when it comes to the church and the music because I think what Christ Embassy was doing became
A model.
Yes. And now he is saying that they shouldn't do it because once you build them, they leave. We all know Akwabo, they are church boys.
Let's speak with a very big musician. Someone who has decided to share her thoughts on certain things. Charlie. Madam, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. How are you?
Hi, Mr. Dusty. Good morning. I'm doing well, thank you. How about you?
Very well, thank you. Should I tell your name or I should keep it for now?
Well, I think I'll share my thoughts and after that I can share.
Right, thank you very much. Please go ahead.
Okay. So, I wanted to break protocol. I know this is not usually done on your show, but I wanted to take this opportunity to wish an amazing person a happy birthday. He's in your studio right now.
Hey! Lovely listeners, this is the wife of Robert Clark. Yo!
Oh!
Sinach.
Snatch.
You know, when they call him, what if he do like this?
Mr. Hager.
Like,
Violence.
That is Mrs. Wilhelmina Clark.
Oh, wow.
Charlie! Mrs., please go ahead. Please go ahead with your lovely message.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dusty. So, like I was saying, I want to take this opportunity.
Hello?
And I just want to thank him for being our rock and our greatest support. And I wish him a beautiful year.
The devil is a liar.
All the joy that he brings to our lives. And I just want to say I love you, Robert.
Oh, thank you so much. Hey, why am I receiving it? Sorry, please, Robert, respond. all the support say I. Then we say I. If we don't, we say oh. So, Rob, please kindly respond.
Love you too. And thank you for everything.
No, I don't like the way you said it.
The rest we go meet for them.
Now I know that.
Mrs.
Yes, Mr. Dusty.
I'm not even sure. I don't. She's still on.
No,
right?
she's still
Okay,
on.
okay,
She's
okay.
still on.
Hi, Andy.
Yes, Mrs.
Yes.
We all know how busy he
Which kind of
is.
pressure won't give you
Oh,
right now?
Master, why? Allow. You there? You see the way they give people pressure. You two today, the pressure they on you. We all know he's very busy. How are you managing his work and home?
Oh, I think I've known him for quite a while, and I'm used to his schedule. We make things work. We just make time for each other when we have the time. But beyond that, it's understanding. Well, he understands the way my job is. I understand the way his job is, and we make it work.
Before I let you go, I want to ask you a
Yes.
very simple question. I beg you.
Okay, I will answer if I can.
Oh, you can.
Just like it.
This challenge just like the husband. I beg you. Before you said yes, what did he say?
Hey,
Pass.
What was the pickup line?
and as for this one, you have to see me in Chambers.
Oh, Chambers na no any. Chambers na no any.
Obedience.
Chambers na no any. You tell me, just me. I beg.
Oh, but one thing, just be yourself, and then just have a car, because we met
What?
at a very
He gave him a ride, eh?
Is that what he said?
No, that's not what he said, but it's an advice to all guys.
So without a car, just Emfa.
Emfa.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you too for having me.
We're so grateful. Why?
Okay,
Listeners,
so the thing is, why she's saying that is because on the wedding night.
gonna explain to her.
Oh no! I'm just saying something that I connected it to how we met, and I was saying that the moral of the story. So there was a story is very simple. I went to ICGC to go and work. We were done with the work and we're about to leave, and I needed to give somebody a lift. And so at the end of the day, it was the lift is how we started
That
the
lifted.
conversation.
You lift them.
lift.
You lift
Good.
them.
So the moral of the story was that
You forget.
if
car.
your job sends you to go somewhere, you for go. And most importantly, you forget car.
Martinez will catch
But don't
up.
worry. and then you forget car.
You
So if you forget car, you will have conversation.
I guess small
So she's
something
talking from
say.
that.
Yeah, so young Kwabo, you say share.
No one says yes, you dear.
Now that I know that, Mr. Hagler, this is the plan. On my birthday, I am
know,
not-
Oh, but you look at your house. And you in your case, this guy, how many cars you get?
You stop about
In your case, you gonna get plenty wives because you're gonna give lift.
That is why I don't go come make anybody ask me. I love you.
But will you do same to Adam?
Oh, we go do am. You said. But me, they did it to me. Have you forgotten?